I'm not letting people in yet. Oh, my hair's on the wrong side. I know everybody's got to fix their hair, get all shit. Get together, get together. I feel like my hair's sideways.
There we go.
There we go. Fix my hair. Nobody's in here yet. I'm not letting them in. So we're gonna play bingo, and we're gonna play the drinking game. So we gotta figure out when everybody comes in what a word is for the drinking game. So I've got Witchy Bingo up, and I'm gonna put that link there. So how was your day today? Good? Ooh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I muted myself. I didn't sleep real well last night, and then I had to go do an on-site with somebody, and so I'm just all wore out, but that's okay.
Well, thank you for coming on, for sure.
Oh, sure.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have my candles lit in the background right there, so if there's something fire, please let me know. Because, yeah. All right, so it's 4 o'clock. Are you ready?
You bet.
All right, let's start admitting everyone. Our DJ is not coming in till 5 because he doesn't get off work till 5.
Okay.
So we'll just hang out till then. So let's start letting people in, and then I need to, well, let me post it first. We're recording, so we're good. I want to do live on Facebook first before we let people in.
Did you want me to try to do some kind of music?
Yeah, if you have it.
Okay. If you will, if you'll give me sharing permission, you should probably make me a co-host as well.
Let's see. You're over here somewhere. It just says make host.
Oh, okay. Well, you may not have the co-host part turned on.
No,
That's
I tried
all right.
to figure that out and I couldn't do it.
Okay. Well, if you'll at least give me permission to.
You should have it now. But give it back to me so I can start putting it on Facebook. Okay. So let's start letting people in. Are you ready? Or if we can just add them all. Let's add them. Hello, everyone. We're just adding people.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. We're just adding folks as they come in. And then we got a broadcast. So give us a couple minutes.
Sounds good.
How are you, Lilith?
I had to unmute myself. I'm good. How are you?
Good, busy. I know how busy you've been. I've been watching you. I'm like, oh my Lord.
Hi,
I
party
know,
people.
it's nonstop over here.
Yeah. Okay. I think we got everybody in. Oh. Got Jared. All right, let's get this going on Facebook real fast. Hopefully they're coming in. Hopefully it works. Let's get this going on Facebook.
Really quiet. Let me just turn it down a little bit.
All right, let's see. We're going
Let
live.
it all hang out there.
I know. It's a casual party. For sure.
Yeah.
So let's see if this is going live on my page, which it should be. Let's make sure we're cooking with grease before we start.
Looks good on my end, Susie.
You can see me on my my page.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sweet. Thank you for that. All right, so let me let everybody else in. I'm turning off my Facebook page so we don't get any views. Lindsay's coming in. We got a full house tonight, y'all.
Yeah. That's
I
why
know.
we need it.
So excited. So excited. So we gotta have some people go around and come in and out. It's gonna be 4 to 6. So you can pop in and out when you want to. We've got vendors here. We've got speakers here. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have contests. We're going to have a music. The DJ is coming in about 5. So Saul's going to be our interim MC and DJ for tonight when our DJ gets here at 5. So how is everyone? Is everybody excited for the event that's coming up?
Super excited.
Super excited. I know, I'm so excited. So let me introduce you to some of our team members and our presenters and vendors. Saul, he's going to be the MC for the event. So hello, Saul. Give everybody
Howdy.
hey. And he's going to be doing palmistry also. And then we have potions and charms. And then Lilith is our featured speaker. She's going to be doing talks on voodoo. So yay for that.
Hi, everybody.
Yay, Lilith. Yay.
Everybody's excited about Lilith. Christina's going to be a presenter. And so we're excited to have her. She's presenting on Powwow Magic. And then Caitlin is going to be doing readings and some kind of tarot sewing bags. And are you going to be doing oh my gosh, selling aprons also? Oh, we can't hear.
Yes,
Okay,
ritual aprons.
awesome. Ellen's one of our vendors. She's going to be selling soaps and teas. And Jared's here. He's going to be a presenter doing runes. And Sissy's here. She is one of our vendors. Lindsay's here. She's one of our presenters. Also, she's going to be doing Archangel teachings on the dark side of Archangel Michael, right? Azrael. And then Athena's going to be here. She's going to be doing reading. She's one of our vendors also. And Sarah's got her witchy hat on too. Hey, Sarah. Then Nikki's here, Jackie's here, Marlene is here, and Donna's here. So welcome, everyone.
We've got some people in chat too.
Okay,
We've got Nikki's here, Nikki R's here, Marlena is here, Jackie's here. Hi, guys.
Wow, everybody's here. From the Bahamas too, Canada. Got lots of people.
Oh
here.
yeah, you need to go to Marlena's Instagram and peep her Instagram. She's envy worthy. She's got an amazing life in the Bahamas.
I'm so jealous. So, all right. So does anybody want to get started with some questions or talk about what they want to talk about as far as presenting? Oh, Ellen's coming on too. She's one of another presenter that I'm looking forward to. She is doing Samhain herbal magic. So I'm so excited to talk with her also, and her going to be teaching us about all kinds of herbal magic. What'd you get, Sarah? Was that one of Ellen's candles? That's one of Ellen's candles.
That is so cute.
Yeah, Ellen does amazing things. Amazing things. So does anybody want to, let me get this before we start. So we're going to have some games, and I'm going to put a link up there to, let's see if I can get it started, to the Witchy Bingo. So I'm going to get the link for that and put it in the chat box. And this is a game we're going to play today for prizes. And let me know if that works. It's in the chat box. So when you click that link, you should be able to get your Witchy Bingo card. Yeah. And Pamela's coming on. So we're going to have people pop in and out. So the longer you hang out with us, the more prizes you're going to win, the more fun you're going to have, the drunker you're going to get, because we need to pick a word of what our, yeah, Lindsay's like, I'm ready to go. So we're going to do a little bit of a drunk witchy party.
Yeah, the
So,
bingo card came up good.
good? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Awesome. So you want to either print that out or bring that up. And then you want to mark it somehow when I call the images. And then whoever wins that bingo will win a prize. Okay. So for our drunk magical witchy party, we need to pick a word that every time you say a word, or I guess me or Saul, anytime we say this magical word, we have to take a drink of alcohol.
I think the word should be and.
And exactly. Magic.
I'm ready to go, so we're
There you go.
My spirit might be here at 5, but I don't know where my mind will be.
Exactly.
If you're working on your broadcast chops, it should always be
Uh-huh. Probably
I
say
say
that.
you gotta take a drink.
Right.
I'd be
Jared-
hammered by now.
So Jared's always drunk. That's what he does.
What?
For-
Wait a minute.
Well, you are a heathen, right?
It is true,
It's part of the
This-
part about being a heathen.
right? We just think of it as being a little bit spiritually closer to our gods.
Exactly. You have to be one with the mead, right?
That's right. Or just some IPA, whichever comes first.
All right. So what's going to be our magical word for tonight? And don't forget that we are having our DJ come on. But he's busy working his muggle job right now, so he's got to get finished with that. So what should our...
What about tradition
tradition?
or witch?
Witch.
Yeah, I was
Witch.
thinking about witch or magic or something like that along those lines.
That might be up there with and.
Or hey, the word
Oh,
the.
God, I'm gonna-
Every time we say the word the, we have to-
Marlena says, how about Halloween?
Well,
Or Sarah says, how about every time Madam Z drops the F-bomb?
yeah. Correct. Yeah. See, we don't care about cussing around here. It's just words. We don't care.
Well, are we trying to encourage the drinks or are we trying to shape behavior?
Well,
Well, why
encourage
can't we
them,
do both?
trying to let loose.
In groups
Just
like
let yourself
this, I
limit.
always think the word should be actually.
Or, fruition. I always have a hard time with that word, fruition. Fruition. So, witch. Oh my God, we're going to get drunk.
Yeah.
Y'all are drinking already.
Oh my God, I started at 7 this morning. Let's go.
It's been that kind of day, right?
Mercury's in
Yeah.
retrograde and it's a Wednesday.
I know.
What can you do?
So witch, we're gonna go with witch. So every time who's gonna be designated, me and Saul, or just anybody says the word witch?
Oh, let's do it like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Everyone just scream.
Witch. Okay. screaming. Pamela says, I wish I started this morning. Yeah. So let's go with Witch for today. So what is everybody drinking? Does everybody need to go get a drink? What's your all's favorite? Ooh, Angry Orchard.
Ginger ale, non-alcoholic, unfortunately.
It's all right. Drink what you can have.
But I can still have fun.
No peer pressure. Seriously, none.
No.
We're clean out around here. I think I drank it all a couple weeks ago. I'm surprised I haven't gone and gotten more.
Look at this, got a whole dang bottle.
All right.
Nice, Sissy.
Drinking it straight. That's
Sissy
the only
came
way to
prepared.
go.
He's ready to go.
Yeah, any liquor I have is for the ancestors, so I'm not allowed to touch that. But
Witch on.
You just said witch.
Does that
That's what
count?
we should have made the word witch on. That's all right. So who wants to get started first about talking about, does anybody have any questions to the presenters, or do they want to talk about what they're going to be presenting? Because there's some people in here that are new that are just like, I haven't even bought a ticket yet. What is going on? Who's going to be talking about stuff?
I vote that we let Lilith go first and talk about voodoo.
Yes, please.
Oh, that's cool. I was going to ask, but because I can't stay for the whole thing. So while you're still semi-lucid, I could talk about voodoo. I'm going to be teaching my voodoo and Afro-Caribbean paganism class, which is the same title as my first book. And basically, it's just an overview of voodoo. It's the voodoo do's and don'ts. It's the real truth about voodoo dolls and zombies and possession and animal sacrifice and all those questions that I think we've been given the wrong answers for so long. So I'm about giving people the right answers and letting them know what the truth of the beautiful religion really is. I mean, it's certainly way stranger than anything you've ever seen in television or movies, and way more entertaining too. So I don't know why they got to sink us and do us dirty like that, but that's just the way it is. So I have been a voodoo priestess for over 2 decades now. I have my own spiritual house, and I had 2 new books come out this year. So I guess that's the short version about me. And I am a witch, so y'all can drink.
How long did you say you've been on this path, Lilith?
Well, I got my first initiations probably about 30 years ago.
Wow.
Is it the voodoo that keeps you looking like you're still 30?
Right?
I don't know what that is. I don't know. Black don't crack. I have no idea.
Good ancestors.
It's certainly not clean living. I can tell you that. So
I have a question for you, Lilith. How has the, because you said 30 years ago, so obviously there was no online, not a lot of online communities for this. So how do you think that the online aspect has really changed voodoo?
I mean, it's changed a lot. We were the first online, actually, like searchable herb database, I want to say back in '89, I think. And some of the other early witchcraft things, we were the first people online. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford to keep it up. So other people took over and took the reins. But it's changed a lot. And I think, our hopes were that it would get better. And the reality of it is it's really just been debased in so many other ways, like we should be able to find authenticity, but instead what we have is, the flash in the pan and whatever looks good. And that's what people pay attention to. So I'm sure everybody who I'm talking to today who's of a certain age like I am knows what happens when, you try and make all your magic the flash in the pan, and that there's going to be consequences of that. So that gets me a little nervous. But I think it does have an upside. I mean, we have a deity called Simbi that didn't even exist. Simbi is all about technology. Simbi used to be the spirit of the serpent and the spirit of the zombie, which that's kind of, they think that Simbi got bastardized because that was the name of Marie Laveau's snake. And that's how the word zombie really took over in the US anyway. So,
Interesting.
But
So Marlena wants
yeah.
to know the names of your books.
Oh, okay. The one that was released last week is Water Magick, which you can get it from your independent stores. You can get it from Llewellyn. I'm saying it's like harder to find than Lysol if you try and go on Amazon and get it. But the other one, that's been #1 in the goddesses for the past 4 months. It's called Orisha's Goddesses and Voodoo Queens, and you can get that anywhere.
Yeah, I love that one.
That is
I
an
have a
awesome book too. I've read that, and actually Lilith was on our show Sunday. I host Witch Chat Chats, and she was on our show Sunday. So catch that as well. You can learn a lot from her.
Awesome. Salsa playing some music in the background.
I have a question for you, Lilith. In the voodoo faith, in the tradition, do you guys consider yourself to be witches, or is there like another word for what you guys do?
It depends on what type of Vodou you're practicing. If you're Haitian Vodou, usually people say Vodou sang. I consider myself a witch just because I always sort of grew up with that term. I did start out in traditional witchcraft and had some exposure to Wicca and things like that. So I just always felt like I embraced that word personally. But to me, I feel like witch is a personal choice. If you're talking about ATRs, some people really like it, some people hate it. It's the same deal with the word bruja, because I think it was so demonized for so many years. But for me, I'm all about reclaiming that kind of negativity and trying to turn it into something positive. So I consider myself a witch. There was a big controversy because there was a Black Witches convention a couple of years ago. I did write about it on my blog, Voodoo Universe, but there were people on both sides of the coin saying that it's not witchcraft, or it is witchcraft, or people can just decide for themselves. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of the thought that if we don't claim it for ourselves, other people are going to put that label on us. So, you know, if we can claim it for ourselves, then we can identify it and give it the parameters and represent it, you know?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially for our younger folk, you know what I mean? That really, I think, need to see a positive image attached to these things as opposed to some of the traditional negative stereotypes.
Marlena asked, where is Lilith from?
Oh, I put it in the chat. I'm from Brooklyn, but I live in New Orleans now. I am one of the 5 people that moved during the pandemic, so.
So Lilith said the word witch.
I heard that accent. I said, that's a Brooklynite right there.
Yep.
So I was like, wait, what? I hear you. Your voice. Now, like, she's giving me light codes, Brooklyn codes.
Yeah, right. Represent Brooklyn.
So I have a question. What advice do you have for somebody who's looking to enter into the tradition?
I would say to get a reading. I think that's the first place to start, you know, and I think that even also addresses some of these questions about cultural appropriation, because I think people, even within the tradition, know that there's sometimes that people from outside are allowed to be permitted to get initiated and to go further in the traditions. So, and I think everybody's path is different. This is what we teach. And I liken it to kind of like food. You know, some people are allergic to peanuts and they have to go to the hospital. Some people eat peanuts, you know, 5 times a day. So you need to find out what the right way to proceed is for you. And it could be with initiation. It could just be going to ceremony. It could just be reading a book or, you know, a blog post or something. So it's really individualized, and I think that's why it's not the kind of thing you can necessarily self-initiate in. You have to have a teacher because they're going to tailor your specific needs to you. Some people are going to need different things.
Thank you.
Do you have a program? Do you give classes and do like programs and stuff like that?
Yeah, I give lots of classes. There's about 10 that I do regularly. You know, I'm excited to do this one because it really is a beginner class for people. So I'm excited to be doing it here. But yeah, I do classes all over the place.
I'm so excited to meet you. I mean, all of you, but I'm so excited. This is all not new to me, but you are all new to me. And I'm really excited to be here with you. Even Madam Z is awesome. I took a class with her and I'm like, oh, I love you guys already.
I'm excited too. Yay.
Yay. Yeah, I did my Veve new moon and my altar to Marie Laveau. So I'm super glad to have her back in my working space. And also Papa Legba. So I did his Veve also. So yeah, I'm excited. So I was like, I'm working with Veves this time. So I've been, you know, when you come in, this is why I did the Witches Gathering. And so everybody can start looking at different pantheons and different paths that they haven't really been exposed to, and stuff that you're like, oh, that's what I've been wanting to do. I just didn't know the name of it, or I didn't have a practitioner or a teacher that could help me in my area. So
Yeah, I think someone's asking that in the chat too. You know, I mean, before when I lived in Brooklyn, my priestess was down here in New Orleans.
yeah.
And my Santo priestess was in Florida. So I would travel thousands of miles, literally, you know, numerous times in order to have initiations and take part in ceremonies and stuff like that. So it's nice when somebody's around the corner, but that's not always the way. And it's more important you find somebody you trust,
Right.
you know, because you're kind of stuck with them.
Yeah, Nikki says she's in Canada and she doesn't have a lot of witches down there, especially with voodoo kind of thing.
So
Yeah.
I love correlations with things, and Madam Z, you posted in one of your pictures for this event, one of the I assume an Orisha that had one side of her face was
Oh, yeah.
kind of skeletal and the other side was more fleshed.
Mhm.
And I was kind of curious if there was a correlation between the goddess Hel or Hela from the Norse pantheon with that particular person of worship. Orisha, is that the right term?
Oh, is that a question for me?
If you don't mind. Like I said, I love correlation, and I know
All right,
very,
well,
I know
here's
very
the,
little.
you know,
So
here's the real dirt you get when I'm in the witches, you know, Zoom chat. So my great grandmother's maiden name was Holborn, like Hellborn. So my family actually goes back, what's that, 4 generations, like being attached to hell. And then they really named me Lilith too. So I think I've got this kind of, you know, fierce demon energy coming from all sides. But we do have Mama Brigitte, which is usually seen sometimes in half and half like that too. But she's more seen with her full face as like a skeletal thing. It's veiled because you don't see her, because she's sort of like an ancient grandmother and kind of, you know, you said you like correlation. So kind of the way the Norns are usually seen as veiled because they're half into the other life. I think that's what it is. It's just a representation of part of them being in this world and part of them hearkening back to the ancestors and to be able to see beyond the veil.
Yeah.
gotcha. That's awesome. Thank you very much. That was one, like I said, I love that kind of blending of cultures and seeing where things are similar where you wouldn't expect them to be. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Because I think we're all, we may have different paths, but I think the deeper you go down into the wandering path of paganism, that we find that we're all connected somehow. There's so many similarities between all of our paths. So the more that for me, the broader your path is, the more you realize that we're connected, and the more your mind is blown. You're like, holy shit, this is like huge, right?
Yeah, because it kind of boils down to the archetypes that most cultures have in common. And it's really cool to look at how all those different cultures express those different archetypes.
Oh, Marlena says it's still illegal there to practice.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was illegal in a lot of places. Even in Jamaica, it's still not really talked about. There's only a few people that I know here in the US.
Is that because it's Christian dominated, or?
I mean, you get Obeah in places like the Bahamas and Jamaica and Belize, which were British colonies, and it comes from the root word obi, meaning snake. So I think that it's just really the manifestation of how things played out being a British colony in the Caribbean as opposed to being a Spanish colony or being a French colony.
Yeah.
I live in the island, and you can't even, that is something that I have ruins and stuff like that. And there's certain people that come to my home and they're just like, nope, I'm out of here. You're a witch. And then they start throwing it. And I'm like, yo, I can do for you what you can do in the church. So get over what you see and let me help you. So it's been real difficult for me. I live in Puerto Rico, and they're real gun-ho on religion. This is it. So I hear you and I'm with you, and I'm breaking that norm. I'm like, nope, I'm not going there with you. You came to me for a reason. Let's go stick to the reason and stop being afraid of things that they're just tools. That's my kind of scenario here.
Well, you have to be that way. What people in America don't realize, unless you travel outside of America, is that we do have the freedom of religion. But although we do have the freedom of religion, there are certain areas in which there are certain practices, like, for example, witchcraft, growing up, that was something you didn't talk about.
No.
You didn't talk about, because I live in North Carolina, which is right now in the middle of the Bible Belt, the Southern Bible Belt, and it's
Mhm.
Baptist. And if you talked about anything like magic, or even, hey, I had a conversation with my granny who died 2 years ago. They were going like, you got the devil in you,
Yeah.
and they just ostracized you. Because see, I was like that. I was born as a female. I was also born, my parents were not married, and I had red hair. So that meant that I was the daughter of Satan himself,
Mhm.
which, you know what, you think that being the daughter of Satan, you would have a lot more fun, but I didn't have as
Or
much.
power. If it's so powerful, why are some people so marginalized, right?
Right. And see, I was treated really badly by a lot of things. And because of the fact that as I was growing up, I was trying to figure out, because I could hear what people thought, and I can also hear the dead at the same time. So when you're a small child and you sit there and you start answering somebody's question who didn't ask that question, they look at you like, oh my God, you are just the soul incarnate, you're hell incarnate right now.
Mhm.
And so trying to get over that. Now, it's not as bad as what it was, but still people kind of put things off. And a lot of it has to do with Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood did do some good, but they also did a lot of bad, for us. But I believe that if you sit down and you actually calmly talk to the person, especially if you understand their viewpoints and where they are coming from, you can be able to find some common ground and talk to them reasonably most of the time. Now, there's some people that you're not going to be able to do that with, but most of the time you can do that. And that's one thing that I really do enjoy. But like I said, I've been out of the country, and I know what it's like when you are not part of the mainstream religion of
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
pretty much mouth shut. So I understand that. But a lot of Americans, we really take our rights and our freedoms for granted,
Mhm.
unfortunately. And that's something we really need to be thankful for.
Mhm.
You're here.
Agree.
It's amazing that we spend all that freedom talking about how offended we are by everything.
I know.
What a
Yeah.
waste.
Down to the nuances of, yeah. Seems
I
crazy.
really
I don't
admire
like your
people.
tone.
Right.
Your tone offends me, sir.
I really admire people that can have conversations with people that are still kind of stuck in that paradigm, I suppose. I don't have the patience for it, but I really admire people like Susie and Moonlight, because you guys are doing some serious healing work that I think that a lot of people don't really recognize. So I just admire you guys for that. I've lost total patience for that, but I truly, truly admire people that can sit down and have those hard, difficult conversations with people and have the patience for it, truly.
It's tough. A lot of us, sometimes, and everybody here is a magical person, and most of everybody here is intuitive, and they want to heal. But sometimes when we see the bigger picture of what's going on, and when you're just sometimes with stuff that they need healed, you just got to get over it. You just want to shake them, and you're like, you got bigger things to do. Why are you stuck on this? And sometimes it's like, I don't have time for this. You've got to broaden yourself. So, but you have to be gentle. And I don't come from a family that's like very much coddlers. I come from a different generation.
Same.
And so, so we didn't have time to coddle. We were like, you got to go. It's like, if you're not bleeding or there's not bone sticking out, then you're good to go. Rub some dirt in it, and we got stuff we got to do.
And that's why events like this are so awesome, because there are people out there that are probably listening to this right now that are just kind of dipping their toes into the witchcraft world, and they're not really out in public about it. So the really cool thing about the Witches Gathering, if you do decide to get a ticket, is that you get to be around people where you're not going to come into that resistance. You're going to be around people who are like seriously living in their witch. So, you're not going to be around those kind of people. And also, you get to learn about a lot of really cool topics that you would not have access to. Like, Okay, so yeah, there's a whole bunch of online information. There's all these books that you can get, but the real value is being able to show up, have these conversations live with someone who is experienced, and be able to access that information from someone who lives the lifestyle and can give you the right information instead of just wandering around like, on Google, the
Yeah.
vortex of Google. Is this what it is? Is this what it is? Because everybody's got their own opinion, right?
Yeah.
But when you can come in and you can learn from people, like how many speakers do we have this year?
13 plus.
13 plus.
And from all different pantheons. All different. That's the way I wanted it. I want to be so diverse. I didn't want to be straight Wiccan. I didn't want to be straight Celtic or straight Alexandrian. I wanted to be just the different. I wanted to show the diversity of what witching is, the reality. So I worked really hard on getting people that are from diverse paths. So we have 13 plus. So super excited.
Yeah, it really is exciting, especially the fact is I teach people about how to emerge their authentic self. And the difference between the authentic and the conditioned self. And the conditioned self basically is that part of you that doesn't want to change. So it's going to do anything it can to keep you from changing. It's going to lie to you. That's where all your fears are coming from. That is where anything that is putting you down, like for example, we put ourselves down a lot more than what we do with other people. And we really need to stop that.
Correct.
So when it comes to emerging the authentic self, that's the way I can be able to talk to people who do not believe the way that I do and who are like hardcore into that, because I ask them some simple basic questions. And one of the basic questions that I ask them is, were you raised with this religion or did you choose it? There's a difference. Because if you were raised, which meant that you really didn't have a choice. Now, all parents should give their children some sort of religious, foundations, just to begin with. But they also should encourage their children to go out into other different religions and just explore and see what's right for them. Because what's right for them is not necessarily what's right for their child. But when I start asking them questions like that, and they're like, well, wait a minute, I was raised for this. I didn't get a choice about doing this. I said, okay, so that's a good foundation to start. So does this still serve you? We need to explore why you believe in this. Do you still believe in this and why? And if you can answer all of those questions and everything still serves you, then your spiritual foundation is solid. Now, if you can't, that means you need to do more shadow work and go inside a little deeper and find what does work for you. Because that's not easy. A lot of people don't want to do their shadow work.
And then it doesn't really end, because then you start on your magical tradition and then it's like learning a whole new lifestyle and language. Then you have to find the tradition that really works for you. So it's really is a lifetime experience of exploring these different things. But I can tell you that it's totally worth doing exactly what Moonlight is telling everybody. It's worth doing. It's worth stepping into your authenticity. It's worth being able to explore the things that really make you happy. Because the bottom line is we get 90 years on this earth if we're lucky. And I would hate for anybody to spend that 90 years thinking that they couldn't look into something or pursue something because they think that some, higher power is going to punish them for doing something like that, or peer pressure. I mean, when you're 90 years old and you're on your deathbed and you're looking back and you're thinking about all of the things that you missed out on, you're not going to be worried about what other people thought or other people's judgments of you. It's only going to be about who you are at that point and what you missed out on, right? I don't want to be one of those people. I want to make sure I want to tear this earth up before I leave, right? I want to learn everything I can because, worst case scenario, there is no afterlife, right? Fine, then I've learned everything. Best case scenario, there is.
Well, that's a concept of Orlog and the heathen traditions is you deal with the hand that you're dealt with. The ancestors and the people that came before you put together, a good example we used the other night in a study group I was in was the house. Your family built a house, you build an addition to that house. Your kids build another addition to that house, and you continue growing with that. So exactly what you're saying, we deal with what we have, and we create more and more from that to create something better and more for everyone.
I was working on the down a little bit, but he's trying to. He's working on it. So he's trying to work on it. There he goes. There you go. That's good. Right there. Perfect. Woo! We're jamming out in here. How many of you gotten tickets already to the event? Yeah?
I got the Witchy loot box.
Oh my God, the Witchy loot box, y'all. The Witchy freaking loot box.
I didn't get it yet. I'm waiting. I'm excited. I'm waiting.
We're having a packing party probably next weekend.
Oh, this is awesome.
I'm excited about this. I'm still waiting for some people to get some vendor stuff in. But I mean, it's going to be beautiful. I already have stuff in here, some stuff in here already. And the stuff that the vendors have sent me are amazing.
I bet your house smells fantastic.
Oh
right now.
my God, it's amazing.
I'm literally making your bags as we are on here. That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Thank you, Caitlin.
I'm trying, guys. I'm sorry.
You're doing great.
I'm in the same boat. I took the stuff with me to go see Caitlin. I seriously just found it again today, and I'm like, why is this still here? Oh my God.
So we have presenters we've got presenters and vendors on the live with us. We have presenters from the Mexican Bruja tradition that's coming on, from Voodoo tradition. You just talked to Lilith. She's going to be doing an amazing class, and she's going to have books and stuff for sale. We have Christina here. Anybody can ask Christina about what she's going to be talking about. Sarah's about runes. And Ellen's here to sell her soaps. We have voodoo, hoodoo, paranormal investigations coming up. What else is there? Dark Goddesses by Michael Hertz. He's going to be talking about Lilith.
Super excited about that one.
Oh my gosh. If I could just live his life,
Right.
I would. Ellen's going to be talking about Samhain herbal magic and herbs for the Celtic Samhain, and we talk about Ellen. She's giving away raffles. Almost everybody here is putting something in the raffle ticket. So Ellen's got an amazing book that she's going to raffle off. We've got samples we're going to raffle off. We have readings we're going to raffle off. We have Witchy glassware we're going to raffle off. We got a Witchy. Did I say Witchy? Y'all are not keeping up with me.
Oh, you should be through this beer by now.
Yeah. We have a $250 gift certificate. I gotta send Bled the link.
Ain't partying with any of you guys. You're wusses.
I know, right? And
Maybe
then
Jared.
Hey, you'll get home safe with us. That's what matters, right?
Like, at least we don't have to drive, drink and drive, right?
As my husband says, someone has to be responsible for my crazy goddess ass when I go out.
Really, let me get an invite. So we have an amazing bunch of people who are going to be sharing their expertise. And Christina talked earlier about how our learning experience is not like, for 30 days, 90 days. People now want to see the results fast.
Yeah.
They think they want to learn everything in 10 weeks. They're not. This is a lifetime of dedication. So if you haven't purchased your ticket, you need to purchase it now. Everybody who purchased their ticket, who haven't gotten their ticket, whoever purchases the VIP ticket today will get 10 free raffle tickets. So the link is in there. If I could get the link again, let me get it pulled up. You get 10 free raffle tickets to some amazing prizes. Hex is giving us a $250 gift certificate. Hex in New Orleans shop, that's going to be one of our big ones. All of these presenters here and all of the speakers here are going to be giving away prizes in the raffles. So you need to get your freaking tickets. This is an event that I have never ever put on like this before. And I seriously do not see another event like this that we are putting on in the virtual world. There will be replays available for VIP ticket holders only. Those are only for VIP ticket holders, and we only have 50 loot boxes, and we are very limited on that. So if you want this magical loot box filled with all kinds of magical goodies mailed to your door via owl mail, you need to get those tickets now, and then you can get the VIP for $97 now. You get 10 free raffle tickets to be put into the raffle. Does everybody sound okay? You good with that? Excited? So does everybody, let's do our first bingo.
Okay.
Our DJ's coming on. So Saul, if you want to mute your music. So does everybody have their bingo card? Let me get your bingo card again, Link. So let me copy that. So, does everybody have their bingo card? And that's our DJ Blair, so he's going to be spinning all of our magical tunes. Say hello, Blair.
Hi, Blair.
Hello, Blair.
I love your lights.
DJ Synthentral.
Hey, Blair.
So we're glad. And our word for the day, our drink word is witch. So every time we say witch, Blair, you have to drink. That's how it is.
The lady's giving you permission, Blair. Take it.
I say y'all are in trouble because there's a bunch of references to witches in the music I'm playing.
Sarah's like, hell yeah. So everybody's got their bingo card, right? Do you want to play some bingo music, Blair? Mr. Synthentral? I don't know. Polka music? Is that bingo music? That kind of goes around with German powwow, doesn't it, Christina, the German polka music? Ooh. All right, so let's do our first bingo. Is everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, so let's spin it. Let's see if this works. All right, so our first one, oh gosh, is gonna, oh my God, is witch. So drink up, bitches. Is witch. So that's our first one. So you want to mark off the word witch. And the first one who gets all of them across or diagonal or however.
That's the witch on the broomstick, right?
Witch on the broomstick, yeah.
Postage stamp count.
Does what?
You know, the postage stamp, like in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I don't know. The four corners. Hey,
Yeah,
I went to this
why
bingo
not?
game, bingo hall.
Jared, where are you playing heathen bingo?
Well, that's just the free space,
Yeah.
right? Like.
So I went to this bingo hall here in Austin, and I was like, oh, let's go play bingo. And that bingo was absurd. It was not your grandmother's bingo. You had to make shapes. You had to, like, the first, four corners. You had to do like the next, the first three or whatever. I was like, what the hell? I'm so
professional
confused.
level.
Yeah,
That's legit. That's legit right there.
Yeah,
I love bingo.
So lost. So lost.
I used to go to the American Legion with my grandmother and play that shit. It was great.
My grandma used to do that. I remember that.
Yeah, American Legion. So Ellen Hopman, I want to talk to you a little bit about what you're going to be presenting on because I find it fascinating. Uh-oh, we can't hear you. Oh, she printed hers out. We can't hear you though. Hopefully she fixed her audio. Oh, we can't hear you, Ellen. Let's see if she can fix it. Let me see if you're muted. No, she's not muted on our end. No.
Mercury retrograde. Good luck.
Oh, I know. Oh, Lordy. We'll come back to Ellen. We still can't hear you. Oh, no. She's going to try to fix it, I think. Yeah, traditional bingo, regular bingo. Yep, no fancy stuff here. She's going to come out, go back out and come back in. So let's see who else.
You have to make the shape of a caduceus on your bingo card.
A spiral. Awesome. So Christina, do you want to talk about what yours is going to be, your speech?
Sure. So I'm going to be talking about German powwow, which is German American folk magic. I just recently took one of those 23andMe tests, maybe like last year, because I was just talking to Susie about this. Like, I've been a witch for probably 20 something years, and I've kind of at this point in my craft where I don't really know where to go, because I've kind of studied a little bit of everything, but nothing really feels like home for me. Like, no tradition feels like home. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a 23andMe and test, and I'm going to see what my heritage is, and I'm going to start there, because I think that's a good place to start for a lot of people, especially if you're not sure where to go. So I discovered that I'm very German. And so my grandmother is actually Pennsylvania Dutch. She's from the Schaeffers. And I was like, you know what? This year I've been really studying German powwow. And I finally was like, okay, you know what? I feel comfortable enough teaching about this a little bit. So that's what I'm going to be doing mine on. And it's really, really interesting because I didn't realize this, but German powwow is a really interesting conglomeration of different types of folk magics. Like, it's influenced by Appalachian magic. It's influenced even by Southern conjure. It's influenced by Native American spirituality. That's kind of where powwow came from, because when the immigrants from Dutchland came to America, they didn't speak English, but they had Native Americans around them, right? And they didn't have a way to communicate with the people that were the other Europeans that were already there, what their religious or spiritual practices were. And so they saw Native Americans doing powwow, and they just kind of adopted that term. It literally has nothing to really do with Native American spirituality. It's just kind of like that term that's they coined from that.
I found that very confusing when I first heard about it. I was trying to draw those lines and realized, oh, no, this is sort of imported Western magic.
It is,
Americanized.
and it's really, yeah, and it's interesting you say that, because, you know, the immigrants started coming over in the 1600s, and they were escaping religious persecution because there was a Catholic-dominated Europe at that point. And over the 300 years since then, 300 or 400 years, it's gone through many different metamorphoses and changes. And the really interesting thing about German powwow is that it's kind of like a melting pot of European magic. It's not just German, but it's from Dutchland, and that's like Austria and Germany and Belgium, and like different, you know, German-speaking countries, because the Germany that we see today is not the Germany of 300 to 400 years ago. It's actually a bigger empire, right? So they come over, and you also have, so you have the Protestants that are escaping persecution from the Catholic Church, that, you know, they believe that the Bible is the one and only truth, where the Catholics are like, okay, you have to go to the priest and everything like that, right? And then you have what Saul was saying is it was heavily also influenced in the 17th and 18th centuries by these Western occult mystics like Levi, you know, Hermetic Kabbalah kind of traditions. And so it's been a really interesting way how it has kind of evolved, but a lot of it has stayed the same too from the old country, right? So a lot of the different types of like herbal creations and different ways of utilizing the Psalms and stuff like that, that has pretty much stayed the same. But it's also interesting too, because you have the pre-Christian people that weren't ever Christian or Catholic that came over and influenced powwow through the old country. And then you have the people that weren't Catholic, that were everything but the Anabaptists and things like that, right? That come over. And so you have this huge variety. But the thing that really makes powwow is that it is a faith healing tradition first and foremost.
Yeah.
The Brockers, they're like faith healing. And that's kind of where they got the powwow name is so they saw like the Native Americans dancing around in a trance, in some type of mediumship trance, right, during a powwow, and offering sacred herbs like tobacco to the spirits. And powwow it is kind of animistic in a way, but it is also shamanistic in a way too, in that powwows actually go into a trance through mediumship, and they literally channel direct energy from God to heal. And Braca means to try. So Brockers are not going to say, I can heal you or I will heal you. They will say, I will try to heal you. So that's something really, really interesting. So I'll be talking about specifically the left and the right hand pass, which is really cool because not a lot of people talk about the left hand, the darker side of powwow and hexery is what it's called. Like removing curses or even implanting curses and things like that. So that's what I'll be talking about. Really
That's
interesting
why I
topic.
like that because the event is more of the dark side, since we're in the darker half of the year, and we're into Samhain, we're into inner work, we're into hexing or healing, that kind of energy. And that's why I love that Christine is going to be doing something a little bit different that's not well known about powwow.
Mm-hmm.
Is the kind of the left-handed. I'm getting more into the left-handed path now, and then I am into the light. So I feel that it's in balance, and a lot of people are trying to get out of the light and love kind of stuff and more empowerment, and that's really what the left-handed path really is. It's not a bad thing. But it's interesting, Christina, because you said about the German powwow, and I always think of powwow as like Native American.
But it's not.
It's not at all. And I ran across a movie about German powwow.
It is in the sense that they kind of worked with the Native Americans to learn the herbs of the area, because they had to create a whole new medicine, right? Because some of the herbs in the old country, they're not in the new country. So that's where the Native American part really comes in. But beyond that, doesn't really have much to do with it.
I just love that Christina is teaching this.
Yeah.
And I love that she knows what she's talking about, because I am a 5th generation Pennsylvania Dutch powwow witch.
Nice.
My grandmother was known as the White Witch of the Halle, and her name was Emma Dietrich. And
very German.
Halle, which originates probably 35 minutes from where I live in York, which a huge murder occurred in Pennsylvania, associated
about that movie.
Which is associated with my family line, because my grandmother was the Harmon. So it's all in my family line. And when you tell people you're a powwow witch, they automatically assume you're just a healer.
Right.
And you're not just a healer.
She's a witch, powwow witch.
So my grandmother would have people come to her house from hundreds of miles away to handle their problems.
What did she specialize in? Do you know?
She specialized in revenge.
Oh, okay.
So if your husband stepped out on you, she was the witch you wanted to see.
Was she Christian based or?
She was a cut wife.
Okay.
So that goes back in my generation. She was Pennsylvania Dutch Mennonite. I was raised United Methodist. What we did was
I was baptized Methodist.
On the low T, what we do, like blowing out fire and dreaming true and turning cards and the leaf spin and the sachets, they're all things I grew up with. So for somebody to speak about the left hand is really awesome, because everybody wants to think it's a whitewashed belief, and it's not.
I find that there's conflict even between the powwows, right?
Oh, and they're mean about it. They're really, if you talk to someone that's West Virginia, Tennessee powwow versus Central Pennsylvania powwow versus Mennonite powwow, you're going to see all different things. But some of the best powwow witches you'll ever see are Mennonite.
Yeah.
And those women know what they're doing. So the essence that I'm like so excited to hear you speak. Like I just am. because it's just not something that people understand what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because they look at me like, you're going to do what with apple seeds? I'm like, trust me.
I got this. I'm a witch, right?
Oh, and during my presentation, I'm going to be giving away a flash giveaway, Hex and Spellwork by Kyle Hare. This has been one of the most practical. I mean, look, I have
it's a fantastic book.
A small, this is a small stack, but this one I've found is one of the most practical, just get started in doing things right now type of book. So I'll be giving this away during my presentation to a lucky winner that attends live.
Awesome. So Sarah said Winnetou, I probably butchered that name, is a popular Native American character of a German book series. A lot of interest in the culture in Germany. Winnetou. Interesting. So is everybody ready for their next bingo thing? I don't know what Blair's doing with his music synth intro.
Can you hear me now? Can you guys?
We can
Oh,
hear
good.
you.
Okay.
Good. So let's get our bingo out and play another bingo. So let's spin the wheel. I feel like Vanna White. Is it Vanna White? 5. It's bat.
I'm making little pentagrams on mine to mark mine.
Yeah.
Bat.
Bat. B-A-T. Bat.
Sky puppies.
Yeah. Flying puppies.
I pulled it into my graphics program, and I've got a big old paintbrush that looks like a dauber. So I just spot it right in the middle. Do it proper.
Exactly. So let me post the ticket again. Don't forget, if you haven't purchased your tickets yet, there's the link, and anybody who buys VIP tickets today during the live will receive 10 free raffle tickets.
Ooh.
10 free raffle tickets. We've got some amazing raffles.
Where's that gift card from again?
Hex in New Orleans. It's $250 gift certificate to Hex. So I'm super excited about that one. Because who doesn't want $250 worth of witchy shit, right? I know I do.
I could spend that in like 5 minutes.
Done. I know. Exactly. For sure. So, all right, Ellen, let's talk about what you're bringing and talking about. I'm so excited about that one, too.
Well, I'm basically...
book. And I was like, do I have to give this book away? I want to keep it.
What's the title? The
Sacred Herbs of Samhain.
Oh, lovely.
And there's another one called The Sacred Herbs of Spring, which is all about Beltane, but that's not for this time of year.
Well, if you're Australian, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, true.
There you go.
I'm going to be sharing a ritual to contact the ancestors, and I'm a druid, so everything I do is from the Celtic tradition. But I've been thinking a lot about. I mean, I have the workshop all figured out, but I've been thinking a lot because of the pandemic and all the people that are crossing over right now, and trying to understand the spiritual implications of COVID. Why is this happening? And I have a lot of thoughts about that. But mainly I'm going to be talking about herbs that you can use, herbs of, first of all, to consecrate your area, then herbs of protection, because, if you're dealing with dead people, you want nice dead people, usually.
You did?
I mean, unless you have a specific reason to call on some nasty dead person, you might have a reason, I don't know. But usually you want nice dead people. So you set up you consecrate your area, then you use the herbs of protection to create a nice cocoon around your area, and then you burn herbs of sweetness to bring in a nice, knowledgeable, good-natured and sweet ancestor, maybe, who will actually want to help you, that kind of thing. And then there's actually a handout, which is an actual ritual that you can do at home in your own time. And everybody should have that in their hand, I guess, when I'm doing the workshop, right? They're gonna
I'll
get
put a
it.
link in there so they can grab it.
Yeah. And it's pretty deep. I mean, you know, you all work with ancestors, I'm sure, but in the Druid tradition, we have the dead, and the dead. We call them the triple dead. So you have the dead of the land where you live, and their bodies and bones have literally made the soil that you stand on, which grows the food which you eat. So you're eating the dead every time you eat a meal. Yeah. It's recycling, right? And then you have the dead of your own bloodline. So, you know, you're all the way back to great grandmother Algae. That's the way I think of it, because we're all related, right? We all come from blue-green algae. And then you have the dead of your spirit, which is your teachers of the past, or teachers who've passed over. So those are the triple dead. So when you do your ceremony, you can have 3 skulls set up, or you can have just 1 skull, which, you know, all skulls are 1 skull. You know, like they say, all the goddesses are 1 goddess, all the gods are 1 god. Druids don't say that, but all the dead, you can have just 1 skull. But what's the point? You know, why do this? And I like to talk about, there's high magic and there's low magic. And low magic is just kind of, ooh, you know, I'm going to get out my Ouija board and I'm going to get some messages from the dead, you know, ooky spooky. You know, that's what I call low magic. But high magic has a different purpose. High magic is about self-transformation. So they're not always going to tell you what you want to hear necessarily. They might tell you something really difficult, like you're full of it. You know, you're absolutely on the wrong path. But if you you know, but if you're really working on this, if high magic, if you want to do high magic, that's when you put yourself in the Athanor, you know, the alchemical oven, where you get roasted and all your bits fall off and get burned away. And the goal is to produce an enlightened person. And it's the same as any religious path, whether it's Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, I don't care, whoever it is, Hinduism, you know, high magic is about turning base metal or flesh into gold, and you become the gold. So that's why that's one reason to contact the dead. But I like to think that that's a useful reason to contact the dead. So anyway, the whole workshop is about contacting the dead.
It's going to be awesome. You use like 3 skulls, crystal skulls.
Well, I mean, the ideal, I hate to say it, but the ideal would be to have actual skulls.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, in the Celtic tradition, having your grandmother's skull, for example, was a very good thing. It was used for healing. And I have another book called Scottish Herbs and Fairy Lore. By the way, my website is elleneverhopman.com. If you just go there, you'll see all my books. But there are Scottish rituals where you go in the dark, in silence. You don't talk. You never talk. And you take the skull, and ideally it's your grandmother or your great grandmother's skull. Why? Because the grandmothers know how to heal people.
Right.
You know, they've lived long enough that they've nursed babies through fevers, and, you know, they know what to do. So you take your grandmother's skull and you go to a place where the living and the dead cross, which is a bridge over a stream where they carry the coffin into the graveyard. So both the living and the dead cross there, right? And you get the water and you put it in the skull, all in silence. And then you walk home in silence and you don't talk, and you carry the water home in the skull, and then the sick person drinks the water. But
really?
I think that's just fascinating, especially in our culture, you know, Western culture, we're so detached from ancestor worship. And, you know, the idea of having, you know, some would probably put you in a loony bin for having grandmother's skull in the living room at your altar, you know, but that is, but, you know, that's just something really, really interesting. And I think we're part of this renaissance right now. All of us are part of this renaissance right now that's kind of taking place where we're bringing back these old customs and traditions and, you know, finding a lot of healing in them as well.
I think we've gotten away from that too, and honoring your ancestors, and because I think here in America we're taught to be afraid of, you know, death, and we don't honor the process of dying. We just stick people in a nursing home, and you know, when they're
shut them
done,
away and forget about them.
Yeah,
we outsource it.
Yeah, we outsource it, and when they're done, we hand the bodies over to a professional. They cremate it, or whatever they do. I mean, back in the day, you would take care of your ancestors. You would take care when the person died. You washed them. You had them in your home. You had the viewing in your home. You actually, you know, built the casket for them. You honored them. And now we're just so detached from the ancestors in this country that it really is a shame that we don't honor them anymore.
I grew up in a funeral home, my father being a funeral director, and I got a very different perspective of death. It's because he was, you know, not of this path and whatnot. It was kind of interesting watching somebody of the Christian belief work with death and be a death walker and talk to people and deal with that. And it's a very interesting and delicate and personal situation. And it's one of those things that I think that religion has, mainstream religion has pushed to being very silent, like you're saying. So it's interesting and lovely to see a return to ancestral roots when it comes to dealing with death and the family aspects of things. It's really quite refreshing. And, you know, one of my favorite things about, as odd and morbid as this may sound, I love the wake. I think that's a beautiful tradition that has been kept throughout all religions. Well, ones that I'm aware of anyway. I hate to summarize, but of that celebration of their life and, you know, what that person did for others. And it's just a really great way to honor and celebrate that bloat.
Yeah, I really like memorials because I mean, I always learn things about the person that I had no idea, you know, even if it's somebody that I barely know, I like to go to their memorial if I can, because I always learn things, you know.
Yeah, my father used to write the obituaries, and just given a very small amount of information about that person, he was able to conduct something really quite striking and taking about each person, regardless of, you know, what the rest of the world's about them. So I totally understand what you're saying.
You know, I bet your dad had mediumship abilities and he just didn't believe in that or realize that.
That's definitely a possibility. It's not something I've ever addressed with them, but maybe I should.
I have a question for you, Jared. So you grew up in a funeral home, so you were around this all the time. So this was kind of second nature for you. So what was probably the most startling thing that, like, growing up in school and kids, like, that you had kind of an insight on that you thought was normal, but other kids didn't? Like, was there anything in particular?
I would say the dinner conversations.
Mm.
You know, where most people would be talking about, like, oh, we did this in school today, or, oh, you know, Clive at the office decided to, you know, send the wrong email out, or whatever it was. Ours were along the lines of, well, Bob downstairs, his arm moved accidentally. Not sure how that happens.
To be a fly on the wall for those conversations.
Yeah, they're really quite interesting and bizarre. You know, I recall I grew up in a very plain kind of community in southern Pennsylvania, and I remember my father telling us about some of the not bizarre, but more unusual funeral services that he'd done. And one was for an Armenian wedding, I believe, or funeral. And he was telling us about it. People were up and dancing in the chapel and incense going up. And it was something that he'd never really experienced. I mean, he'd read about it in school and whatnot, but had never experienced anything firsthand. So hearing those types of stories, really kind of opened it up to me for different funeral customs and just traditions in general across the board. It was really quite interesting.
I was raised in a family who, like, we grew up with ancestor veneration through the guise of a spiritismo and setting a white table altar for our ancestors and our deceased loved ones. And so it's people don't realize, but these practices are still practiced in America, just in small pockets, and and it's very much closed due to what happened with like the conquest of the Americas. It became a closed practice within families, so it's very like family specific. But it's very much growing up and saying prayers and lighting candles to them, setting water and offering for them. And especially in this time with the ancestors coming back for, Samhain for the Celtic traditions and Dia de los Muertos for a lot of the Hispanic community, it's very important that we're acknowledging them on a day-to-day basis. And even more so on a yearly basis, like we really bring out all the candles and set gigantic altars and make gigantic offerings and go to the cemetery. It's a family affair. So, these traditions do live on. It's just you're not going to see them out and about in society because they've become closed practices over the years.
Right, because people think it's odd. People think it's weird when you honor dead people, or they have their skulls or their ashes, or they just think it's weird.
I can't even tell you how many weird looks that I've gotten over the years from friends coming over my house and seeing all these altars and candles going, and going, what are you people practicing in this house? So I've lived it. But it's a tradition that's lovely to pass on to your children, because my children are being raised in such a way where they don't feel connected to their ancestors. They never lost their traditions. They're still actively practiced and passed down. And, hopefully 10 generations from now, they'll still be within the family. Correct. So just my 2 cents.
Just so everybody knows, the old date for Samhain is actually November 11. So the night of November 11 into November 12. Yeah. That's the old traditional date. So we have lots of time to do stuff. And if you get the book, I have really detailed instructions in here about how to do a dumb supper with recommendations for how to set up the table, the kind of food to eat, what kind of a ritual, herbs to burn beforehand, herbs to burn afterwards, how to light candles, just what Athena was saying. And then I also have a ritual to the Morrigan in there. Who in the Celtic tradition, the Morrigan is probably the most associated with Samhain. But it's how to communicate with her using scrying. So it's a bowl of water with river stones in there. You collect ideally from the place where a river starts. If you can go to what do they call that? The mouth is where the river ends. So wherever the river starts, you get the stones from there, and you put the head. Thank you. It's like a snake, right? But anyway, and so you scry and you get messages from the Morrigan, but again, using herbs to help open your third eye and, get your consciousness ready for the experience.
Awesome. So let's do a witchy. I said witchy, and then I want to talk to some vendors.
Let's
do some bingo. While Blair tries to get the music going. Then Central. Music, please. Let's do the witchy thing.
Do you want actual music while you're doing this? Because it's gonna be loud.
But turn it down.
I can't turn it down from my end. That each individual user has to. Like, there's one volume on Zoom, and that's it. So let's play one song and see how it goes. All right, because
we're playing around. We're experimenting today.
All right, so we'll do it right and start with song Witchcraft. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Witchcraft.
I've tried and tried to capture you. What more can one mere mortal do? My love potion boils and bubbles, poison darts, red poison, apples, cafe, casita, non-cafe, opportunity, Siegfried, Rambrunhilda, Manula, Campana, St. James Eve, a dash of orange, and ambergris, incantate, Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black. My love filter will it will pump and sir Constance, honest and Ottoline, amulet, Angelique takes Barnabas from Joseph. Spiders can pray like in blue. I'll will stew and brew. Incantate this magic spell. Miss Lucy's in heaven and the steamboat's in
A little bit more. You're doing good. A little bit more.
All right, if I turn it down any lower, it's going to be off, just so you know.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Sounds like you turn it off.
bubbles. Poof goes, oh my.
Okay, you can turn it off now. I gotta announce.
All right.
You gotta work on that. We got to work on that. Anyways, that's the kind of music we're gonna have when we have the DJ party. So we're just gonna be jamming out, dancing, drinking, having a good time, so we can all oh, the Book of Love. Yeah, we saw them, didn't we? We saw them.
Yep. You went begrudgingly.
Yeah.
And you liked it when you got there.
Yeah, Book of Love. So the next one is gonna be Bone. So we need to mark that off of our. I need to do 3 or 4 next time. So let's see. I need to pick a vendor. So who wants to talk about their stuff? Who's a vendor that wants to talk about their wares that there's vendor?
Wait, did you say bone singular or bones with an S?
Bone singular.
Miss Z, I would like to go, please.
Okay, sure. Sissy.
So
Sissy's up.
I was watching all of you guys showing all your amazing stuff and seeing all your websites and everything. Well, I just gave birth to my baby this year. She is young, she is new. So I decided when she sent out the invitations to be a vendor, I would do this as my inaugural event. So please be gentle. She's young. She's just starting to sit up. She hasn't walked yet. We're just working this.
Yeah.
I am a Pennsylvania powwow witch by descent. If you are lucky enough to get one of my samples that I sent for the VIP boxes, you will see that I make seasonal melts. I'm very select with the items I hand make. I don't rapidly fire out. I do small batch items. So when I do an altar kit, I only do 6 sets of altar kits. When I do melts, I only do limited amounts of melts. So it's kind of a get it or you don't get it kind of thing. I only do what I'm moved to do. Maybe not the best business decision for money, but it fills my soul at this point. I am a breast cancer survivor. I am a narcissistic business survivor with a partner. So I am moving forward in faith and trust that I can do this all by myself. So the name of my business is the Lunar Hearth Cauldron. I am a hearth witch by choice, a kitchen witch by trade. I'm a former restaurant owner, and I am an avid gardener and craft whore. I have declared myself a craft whore.
There you go.
Anything to try once. So I specialize in journal writing, which is what I do. My friends affectionately call me the paper witch.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you come to my house, there's probably 20 journals sitting everywhere.
Yeah.
And I write constantly. It never stops. I'm a huge advocate of shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
As I tell all the girls that I work with, I usually work with females. I don't concentrate with men because I'm not a man and I don't identify as a man and I don't identify the struggles that men have. So I tend to work with females. I welcome any male in my Parchment Witch group that would like to join. But when I do one-on-one mentorships, they're with women because I've had the same experiences they've had. I've lived through a lot of the same traumas they have, and I feel more connected. It's nothing sexist. It's just what I do.
Yeah.
And as everybody will tell you, I really like the word fuck.
Yep.
My business slogan is "You're magical because you fucking say you are."
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my girls every time they give me an excuse, own your shit or shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Cannot grow unless you make the decision to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So what I offer one-on-one consults, there's only a $15 charge for your consult. We sit down, we have a Zoom, we do a 30 to 40 minute Zoom. I find out what's eating you, and then I write prompts for you.
Mm-hmm.
With your prompt, I find the biggest part of people having problems with shadow work is they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And you can't be inside your own box and see things effectively.
So for the
Someone
people
else,
who don't know, Sissy, tell them what exactly shadow work is, because you hear about that term all over the place now. And some
Shadow
people,
work
what is shadow work?
shadow work is dealing with traumas in your past that are currently affecting your current place and now. What people fail to realize is traumas we've had as a child, as a young woman, in relationships, in business meetings, in growing up, affect our views of other people who do not deserve the trauma you're inflicting on them.
Mm-hmm.
You're putting your past life experiences on new people, and that's not fair. They're not getting a fair shake with you. And as much as you would like to think that your shadow is this dark aspect of you that doesn't need to be seen, as soon as you get your demons in line,
right,
and you learn how to dance with them, you are much more effective in the world.
Correct.
And everybody asks me what my main goal in life is, and my main goal is to make goddesses. I want every woman to realize she has the right to be a walking goddess.
Yep. Exactly.
You are valuable, you are wonderful, you are gifted. Just because you had some shit doesn't make you worthless.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And in my shadow work and any of my mentoring I do, I tell everybody, I don't care where you've been, I want to meet you where you are.
Yeah.
So whether it's a brand new witch who's just starting the craft or someone who's been in it for years and years and years, we all can gain from someone's different perspective.
Yes.
And when I listened to Madam Z speak one day, I found her. I don't say I ever find someone by accident. I found her because she was thrown in front of me.
Yeah.
And I listened to her speak and I'm like, oh, she doesn't talk bullshit either.
No, I never have though. That's why I never survived in corporate America.
Tried riding the Food Network.
I can't do this anymore. I'm like, yo, just full of shit. They don't like to be called full of shit.
I tried riding the Food Network bus. I was not cut of that craft.
No. And you'll find that though. You'll find that you just can't fit into the muggle world. So
I would like to have lots of products to offer you guys when we do this vendor event, but I'm not going to. Yeah. So my mentoring consults will be what I'm offering. I will have a limited number of kits that I'm working on. It's so crazy that Ellen's in here because I'm using that book right now to build my my ancestor kit. It's epic. But I will have a couple ancestor kits. I'm working on shadow ladders, which are my personal journey prayer chains that I use to work through my stuff. Mm-hmm. So when I have something stressful, I assign a crystal each of my issues that I'm working on, and I put a wooden bead in between, and I ground myself in between my meditations and my journal work and things along those lines. So I'm in the process of working on those, but believe me, it was very intimidating when I saw everyone's websites and everyone's videos. I'm like,
no, you just got to start where you're at. And that's what I tell my witches too. You got to start where you're at. No matter where you're at, no matter what path you're on, you have to keep your blinders on. I mean, you have to be focused, kind of have tunnel vision a little bit, and stop looking at what other people are doing, because that's not your path right now. And that's the worst thing you can ever do, is compare yourself to other witches and where they're at.
Well, I definitely felt like I jumped into like the 15-foot section of the pool without floaties when I signed up to do this event.
No, I'm right there with you. So
good though, it's good.
Yeah.
We are proud of you guys. Seriously.
My husband looked at me and he goes, "Sink or swim, bitch. That's the way this is gonna work."
Yeah, you have to decide you want to be here, and then you just show up. It's really that simple.
So come hang out with Sissy. She's going to do some amazing shadow work. My office smells amazing. When I got her package to go into the Witchy loot box, VIP ticket holders get a sample of hers. My dog could smell it through the package. And she was like, "What is that?" And then I put it in my office, and I was like, every time I open my office, I'm like, "Oh God, it smells so good in here." So her stuff is amazing, powerful. So come and hang out with us at the Witches Gathering. And if you buy your ticket today, your VIP ticket, then you get 10 free raffle tickets. And she's got coupon codes also. Some vendors have coupon codes that she's going to be giving away. So come hang out with us, get some shadow work done with Sissy. She's going to be there and doing lots of cool stuff in her vendor room. Every vendor gets a own vendor room. We have a main stage for speakers, but then we have time slots where you can come hang out with vendors or speakers, and you can actually shop their wares, get a tarot reading, schedule a tarot reading, get a book, get a course. So you get to hang out with the vendors and the speakers one-on-one and ask questions. So you get that time, and every vendor and every speaker will have their own room to come hang out with them. So with that ticket, the VIP ticket, you get private seance from Bloody Mary. You get the loot box. You get a private midnight and mimosa party with me, although it's not midnight. And you get private replays and private panels and all kinds of extra stuff that the regular ticket holders don't get. For $97, you need to get on that today, because once you get that, you get your $10 free raffles tickets, and then once those loot boxes are gone, those loot boxes are gone. Okay.
I have a question for Sissy.
Yeah.
So you said you do wax, you do melts. Is that wax melts that you do?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I do custom kitchen witch work for people. I'm really big on, I don't write spells for people. I can gather you supplies and I can help you with it, but I will never write your spells. I feel your word is your wand. Yeah. And I'm very, very intense with that. I can help you critique the shit out of that spell, but I'm not going to do it for you.
Yeah.
I have some really strong feels about witching for money. I really think you need to teach a witch to witch. You can't do it for her. Yeah. You need to help her. And that's our job in this trade, is we are from a circle that people taught one another. It wasn't held up for ransom. And I really feel it needs to be shared. I totally understand the energy exchange and the financial. It's like, Madam Z and I've had that conversation. I'm like, I totally value what you do financially. It's just my till is not that full at this moment, So I am all about teaching. I just won't do it.
Yeah, we'll get you there.
So my husband says that I need a little more, please pay me, and a less, here, take it.
Yeah.
That's really... So, all right, let's do some bingo real fast. All right, so let's do 3 since we're kind of running out of time. Okay. So we have cat, C-A-T, cat, not K-A-T, because K-A-T is in here. Different kind of cat. The next one is wolf. The howling one, not the dog. That's the howling one. But who really wants to? One more this round. Pumpkin. And I'll find you. You can't burn me down.
Look, we need some candles and glow sticks.
What?
I feel like I need some candles and glow sticks right now.
I know. Well, you wait to the party. He's gonna be all like glowed out, and it's gonna be like a rave.
So is the audio better now?
It's a little bit loud. Loud.
A little bit loud. Okay, so I can turn that a little more, I think. How's that?
Last one of the bingo.
How's that?
Yeah, that's good. Is everybody okay with it?
So I had to actually install a software mixer in order to control the output. Yeah, fun times.
Hey, did I miss any while I was gone?
I don't know. We're still talking to the same one.
Okay.
Sarah should recognize this band.
So Sarah Blair. Ellen, we all live in the same town. We all go to the same town. So they all listen to the same music. I don't listen to this music.
Is this dark wave? Is that what that's referred to as?
Yeah, this is Death Loves Veronica. She's from San Antonio. She's amazing. She does future pop, synth pop, and dark wave, and a little bit of goth as well. But yeah, Susie's like one of those weird witches that like doesn't listen to goth at all. Like she's like, I want some hip hop and some top 40.
And I'm over here with my Spanish reggaeton.
Yeah, I'd rather do that. I'm all about that.
We all have our guilty pleasures.
Yeah. So the bingo. What was that last one? I mean, you had the
pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Okay. So we got cat, wolf, and pumpkin. All right. So we need a presenter. Who wants to talk about what they're presenting? Kelsey left. I was going to talk to him. I don't know where his internet is sometimes crazy. Anybody else have any questions about tickets or about vendors or about teachers or speakers? Witch.
I've been through that beer. I've been
she
through
has
it.
said, "I am the witch" at least 20 times already in this song.
Oh yeah.
Drunk already.
So from y'all don't know, we have a word that we picked, which is witch. So whenever we say the word, we have to take a drink of alcohol.
Blair, what are you drinking from your bottle over there?
Deep Eddie Lemon.
Deep Eddie Lemon. Straight up.
All right, so let's see. Sarah says she drank her whole beer. She's out already.
I just went and opened another bottle of wine.
Oh, that's a good question. Marlene, it is 3 days from 8 in the morning till about 8 at night. Yep. But if you can't hang out the whole entire day, all 3 days, that's fine. It's on replay and the schedule is up. So if you need to rearrange your schedule to what speakers you want to look at, or you want to, what vendors you want to go hang out in, that's perfectly fine. As long as you get the VIP tickets, then you'll get the replays.
And the schedule, that's all going to be up in the group the day of, right? Yeah.
It's up there now. Whoever
is it up there now?
Yeah,
Okay.
whoever has tickets, we have a private Facebook group, so their schedule is already in there. So you will actually get a schedule. You can see that in the private Facebook group, and also the schedule will be up there the day of, so you can rearrange your schedule if you need to accordingly. We have day passes also for $35. We have speaker passes for, I think it's $77, 47, I think it is. And then we have the $97 VIP. So we have 3 different levels, but the $97 is where you get everything. VIP seance from Bloody Mary, the pajama party, the replays, the access to panels, to speakers, all of that extra stuff.
Yeah, just get the Supreme ticket, really.
Just get the Supreme ticket.
Just get it.
Yeah, you're gonna kick yourself in the ass if you don't get it.
So, Mom Z, I'm fixing to pop out in a little bit. May I talk for a little bit? Okay.
It was nice to meet you.
No, I'm not gonna pop out now. I'm gonna pop out in a little bit.
I think we need to kill the music.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, like the music and Moonlight are not playing nicely.
I know that's really hard to do with Zoom. So, so my name is Nikki, and I am a vendor. My businesses are the Moonlight Potions and Charms and the Life and Soul Holistic Center. I'm also a host of the Witch Hat Chats, which you can catch every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook page. And we got a Samhain edition coming up this Sunday, which I'm really excited for. Yay. Basically, with Moonlight Potions and Charms, we do sell several different varieties of magical products. My specialty happens to be traveling altars.
Yes.
Yes. And the thing about traveling altars is they have to be, number one, convenient, they have to be quick, and they have to be small.
Mm-hmm.
So that means when you just be able to turn around and grab something and run and go, you can just grab and run and go. I have a regular altar on the go, which consists of 14 different items in a very small paint bucket. And then I have special ones, such as a Marie Laveau altar on the go. I have that. Yeah. That one is really, really nice, and it comes in a little small jar. And I also have ancestor altars on the go as well, and so much more. I mean, I have voodoo dolls. I have tons of candles that's already fixed for you and prepared and everything like that. That is Moonlight Potions and Charms. And if you buy the what is it, the Supreme ticket? Is that the big one?
Yeah, big one.
You get a coupon code for 15% off of all of my products.
Yep.
And with the Life and Soul Holistic Center, I happen to be a spiritual motivation coach. So what I do is I help you find your life's purpose and passion in life, and make sure you're spiritually aligned with your higher self and spirit. And I'm kind of like everybody else. I pretty much tell you the way it is. We sit here and we have a conversation about what's going on. And then I help you to turn around and, if necessary, recover portions of your soul. So I do a lot of soul recovery. I help people with their traumas and to be able to face that. And the problem about traumas are that reason why most people can't deal with them is because they're right here in your face. So what I do is I help people kind of push that back so they can look at it as if they're watching a television show with no emotion. Now, that's not easy. Okay, that's not going to be easy. That's part of shadow work is what I think that should be another word that we should drink to is shadow work because we used it so often today, right?
Shadow work. Here's the shadow work.
Yeah, shadow work. Here we go.
Sure.
But I do help you with that. We go in through meditations. I also do animal medicine as well as readings. I mean, I do several different types of readings. Clairvoyant readings, and then I use tarot, oracle, healing readings, you name it. And on top of that, I've got so many classes. So those who do get the Supreme ticket will also get a coupon for 15% off of all of my services.
Yeah, VIP tickets where it's at, man.
Yep.
Telling you, for sure. So come hang out with Moonlight Potions during the vendor hours. We have 3 chances to go hang out with the vendor hours every single day. We have morning sessions, afternoon sessions, and evening sessions. 3 every day, right? So for the people who can't make it morning or second session or third session, then you can definitely come hang out 3 times at least and get the coupons, talk to them, so you spend all your money for sure at the vendor.
Well, we really need to support our local pagan businesses because they're suffering just as much as what the other ones, if not more than that, because we rely on the community to be able to not only support us and our families, but we support you as well. We're the ones that help you with the networking. Those that have actual physical buildings are the ones that hold rituals, they hold classes. They're usually the only place that pagans can actually come, sit down, and have a conversation without being judged or anything like that. I mean, with me, I'm the head of the Ever Moving We Rise Witch Shrine, and what we do is every single full moon, new moon, holiday, we actually broadcast our rituals. So we bring our rituals into people's homes, is what we do.
Yeah.
We also have a red tent event, which is the second Saturday of every month, which is not broadcast, it's not recorded. But it's a way for us ladies to be able to get together. And if you think you guys are bad, you gotta come to one of our red tent sessions because we talk about anything and everything, ranging from our cycles to anything else in between. And so,
awesome.
People are invited. These are public events that we're holding to. And with the Ever Moving We Rise Witch Shrine, we focus on the authentic self, bringing that out in you. And we encourage people to go and join other circles and join other organizations so they can be able to expand their knowledge and experience.
Cool. We're excited to have you as a vendor for sure.
I'm excited to be here.
It's going to be great. 3 days of awesomeness, magical vendors, as well as speakers. We have some speakers here and vendors here. So who hasn't gotten their ticket yet? Who needs their ticket? Who needs their ticket? Because the next person who buys their $97 ticket is going to get a free Witch On t-shirt. So if you haven't bought your $97 ticket yet.
Those are super cute, by the way. You did a great job on those.
Oh, thank you. So let's see. MJ got hers.
Moonlight, what's the red tent page? What's that call again?
Okay, you gotta go to the Ever Moving We Rise Witch Shrine. And that's on Facebook. So go on Facebook for that. Let me see if I can find.
Okay, I got you. I'm going to put you into the chat now. Thank you.
All right.
So come hang out with her. She's going to be giving some amazing coupons, shadow work stuff, talk about new moon. So let's see who is the next one who purchased tickets. Kim McKenzie. So yay! She got her ticket. No.
Congratulations.
Yep, 303. I'm looking at the time.
Hey, when should we order? Do we need to order our shirts like right now, huh? If we want to get them by Halloween. Okay.
All right. Well, I got to get off here.
Yeah, we'll see you at the event. Yeah, we'll see you at the event for sure. November 6th through the 8th, y'all. I forgot to tell you what time it was. Duh. November 6th through the 8th, y'all.
All right, y'all. You have a wonderful night.
Awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
So yeah, Makita got a free shirt. So I will send you a message and we'll get what size and we'll get everything and I'll get that ordered for you. So yay! Awesome.
Hey, Sally.
Sally's here. So I want to talk to Saul.
Hi, Christina.
Saul is here.
Yeah, Saul is here. So I know Sally and Christina know each other. I know that. So Saul is one of our presenters also. And talk to us about what you're going to be presenting. He's going to be our MCs during the 3-day event. So you're going to see him and Blair kind of like do MC, entertain you guys. So Saul is a presenter. So tell us what you're going to be talking about and what you're going to be sharing at the event.
Sure. Well, I like to think of myself as a gateway mystic. I heard a couple of people say that they were still trying to place themselves in the macrocosm of witchiness.
Before we get started, we want to congratulate Kat also for getting a VIP ticket.
Oh yeah! Well,
congratulations to that. Yay! She's going to be joining us. These are flying out the door. These boxes.
That's excellent.
Yeah. So get on them for sure.
Can you see who gets the next VIP ticket like right away? Like, is that something that goes through? Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna say, I mean, I can offer a casting for whoever gets the next ticket if we wanted to entice and move that into the pool. They would just need to find me on Facebook and friend me on there, and we set up a time to do that.
Perfect.
What's your page, Jared?
So the Rowan Wolf Runecraft is going to be the Facebook page to find me at. And then my actual website should be launching here in the next week or so.
Spell that first word for me.
ROWANWOLF, and then Runecraft is 2 words. So they can find me on there, and we'll schedule something for the next VIP ticket purchaser that shows up.
Let me see if I can get it for you. I just have your Facebook one.
Yeah, that's probably the best one as of right now. Like I said, I'm still working on integrating everything, but I'll be quiet now. Sorry.
So for the next one who buys a $97 ticket, Jared is going to be giving a free rune casting. So whoever wants to get there, thank you, Jared, for offering that. That was very, very generous. So whoever is after Mackenzie that comes through with the $97 ticket will get her or their rune casting. So I'm super excited about that. Heck, I want one of those. All right, Saul, sorry we interrupted it.
No, I was like, where can I buy it? Can I buy one?
Yeah, you can buy one. He's going to be doing readings there also. And he's also going to be vending. So he's going to be throwing runes also. Mm-hmm.
Well, and the way this event is set up, it's going to be different than probably any Zoom event that you've attended, because we're going to be moving back and forth between the big main room where things will happen and the ability to go into private areas with vendors and readers and that sort of thing. And Zoom has changed a little bit to adapt to what we were hoping to do. And we're also really pushing Zoom a little bit as to what Zoom is supposed to do. So what you're going to find is that the experience of this event is going to be much less like going to a big marketing seminar and much more like going to a fair where you get a chance to wander a little bit on your own and look on your own and go in and out of things. So very, very excited about that. There's going to be a much higher social element to this event than what I've seen in a lot of other things. So you'll not only have a chance to go to lectures and buy things, but you'll also have a chance to make connections with people that are pointed in the same direction that you are and who can become allies on finding your way on that path, whatever it is for you.
Correct.
And what I'm going to be doing, like I said, I find myself being sort of a gateway mystic. I'm the one who, when I do a fair or something like that, I'm the one that the husbands will come up and talk to. I'm the one that people will come up and say, with what they think is a stupid question, that they're kind of shy about asking. They'll end up talking to me about the what if sort of stuff. And so I feel like I help people become a little more comfortable with where they're pointed, and help them understand their own level. I want everyone to be a manifesting motherfucker. That's the whole point. And whatever symbols, whatever lore you wrap around yourself to do that is all good. And so I also tend to be kind of action oriented in things. When I teach people about reading tarot, we try and get as close to action as we can. We strip out all the cards except the major arcana and the aces and focus on that high energy approach to readings. So you learn to trust yourself and trust your intuition before you add all that complexity. When we work with pendulums, I try to get away from a lot of the things that slow people down on that, and really get them to understand that it's about opening yourself and trusting what your subconscious is going to do with that pendulum and whatever is going to act on your subconscious. And when it comes to palmistry, I find that people tend to make it very, very hard. Just like with tarot, they try to memorize everything. Mm-hmm. They try to
There's so many
learn.
Lines.
Right. And quite honestly, if you were to sit down and approach all of the lines and all the creases and all of the things like that, and I have a lot of awareness of all the things that are in a hand, but most of it I don't find to be useful in many of the conditions that I'm reading. I do a lot of events for people. I do a lot of things where people are what I like to call psi-curious. So they just want to have an understanding of this. And for me, your palm tells a lot about you. If you want to learn about the person you're gonna spend your life with, you got to bring his hand over to me. I can't tell you what that guy's going to be like or what that girl's going to be like. What I can tell you is what qualities about you are going to connect with that relationship, what qualities about you may need to be complemented, what sort of person is going to be more immune to your bullshit, and what sort of person you're going to have to work at for the relationship and do it on purpose. There's nobody that you can't be with. Right. But sometimes it requires a lot. You have to do it a lot more on purpose.
Hey, Saul, can we announce the winner for Jared's rooms?
Sure.
So we want to say congratulations to Jackie. She got the next VIP ticket, and she
Jackie.
Reading.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Congrats.
I'm so excited, Jared.
Me too. That's wonderful.
So the next winner that gets a free kind of sample from the vendors. Oh my God, I need some more alcohol. I can tell it's like
now we start mixing the Kahlua in the coffee, right? That's the point at we're at right now.
Let us know when you get to tequila time, you know.
That's
so
midnight.
Ellen has offered the next person to buy a VIP ticket a witchy cauldron. Can you show it to us? It's a candle cauldron that's
very nice.
with and see, Sarah's got hers too. So
Oh,
when you burn the
beautiful.
candle, you have a cauldron. So I love that one. So the next person who gets a VIP ticket will get that free from Ellen.
Is there a special like intention for that
Sorry,
particular candle?
This cauldron actually has a pinnacle on it too, so you actually get a pinnacle mini cauldron on it. My intention was really just a witchy sort of generic intention, I guess you'd say. It's got a clear quartz crystal in it, and it's got herbs from my garden, so it could really be, your intention could be whatever you want it to be for this candle here.
It looks like a good solid energy focusing sort of tool, and the way you've designed it, it would be very easy to add your own symbols or sigils or whatever it is that you needed to do and dress that. That's beautiful.
Thank you, Sarah, for being my Vanna White. So it could really be any manifestation that you want it to be. You could put any sort of energy into it that you want.
Ellen's magical goods is what I call her, because she does teas and candles and waxes. Hers are amazing. Amazing.
Thank you, Susie.
I love her too. So yay! So the next one who gets it will get a candle from
So
Ellen.
you kind of remind me of like the intuitive's intuitive, like the reader's reader, like that kind of person. Does that come up for you a lot?
I don't know. I am one of those eternal outsiders. I got involved in all this to prove it wasn't true and ended up going way down the rabbit hole. So I'm a little too mystical for my scientific friends. I'm a little too skeptical for some of my woo-woo friends, a little too pagan for some of my Christian friends, and you know, a little too Christian aware for some of my pagan friends. And I host horror movies. So, but for me, I'm fascinated by all aspects of the path. Someone helped me identify as I guess a chaos magician was what connected with me. And lore wise, I'm very fascinated by Crowley. But you have to read in between the lines for Crowley, and you have to know when he's joking, because he was very sarcastic.
I consider him the world's biggest troll.
Yeah, he really was. And if you can look in between the trolling, you can see that what Crowley taught is very similar to what Scott Cunningham taught. Mm-hmm. In that, look, there are all these tools, there are all these approaches, and you focus and you manifest, and you do what you do. And everyone should be doing it. That was really the core of his message. But he just loved to poke at people because everyone was so, I mean, it was when the Gardnerian work was trying to be codified, all this stuff was going on, and there were a lot of people with their noses in the air about how one should be a witch.
Witch.
And he just he felt that people could do their own thing, and he was constantly, if you look at his work, he goes this way and he's very sure of himself and this is the way, and then later on he goes, well, yeah.
Let's switch this and this and see how it goes.
I mean, that still works if you want to do that, but I'm reading one of his books now. I can't think right now because there was all the witch tonight. But he essentially breaks things down. He says, okay, so you gotta have this kind of a thing, and you can go look over here and pick from like half a dozen of them, and then you got to have this kind of a thing, and here's a place where you can find 25 of those, and it's like listening to Harry Dresden make up potions. You know, it was really just whatever works for you in this thing, but it's got to have this kind of a vibration. And when you look at it that way, you're like, well, hell yeah. I mean, Isaac Bonowitz talked about that right up front.
in real magic, or true magic. Is it real magic or true magic?
True magic, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I reread that periodically. So that's kind of where I'm coming from on everything. And in the palmistry class, we're not going to get very deep into the lines. We're going to cover the classic lines because everyone wants to know what those are. We're going to talk about the elemental energy of a palm, which is something you can find casually while you're talking to someone, and it's something is very, very easy to read, very easy to interpret. We're talking about the different sort of power areas of the fingers and what those represent. Again, very easy to incorporate. And the idea is I want you to leave this going, I can't wait to look at somebody's hand.
Yeah.
And we're not going to worry about, what age someone might have gotten sick and how many children they're supposed to have, or anything like that, because personally, I don't find a lot of that to be terribly useful. It's showing off. Yeah. Just like I do in my readings, I want you to be action oriented. I want you to walk out of there going, let's do this. And I know that there's at least a couple of things that I can do right now, and just try it. Because when I started getting into readings and experimenting with things, I didn't have any confidence. I mean, hell, I didn't believe in it to some degree. And it wasn't until some people pointed out, and I had people, whatever the witchy,
witchy.
whatever the witchy equivalent of gaydar is, started coming on for people. And I started having people go, and I'm like, no. Until I had a few people close to me that went, you're doing stuff, and you probably ought to start doing it on purpose, so that nobody gets hurt. And I suddenly had to own it. And to me, that is the most thrilling thing, is helping other people discover that what they thought was not possible are not about them. If you deal at all with the professional metaphysical world, you meet a lot of people that are all that. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't play with the invisible children when you were 3, and you don't see dead people all around you, and all that stuff, I bet you they can't configure jack audio in a Linux box, though. No, but I mean, that's just ridiculous. The universe is available to all of us. Nobody gets to be the gateway. Nobody gets to give you permission to manifest unless you invite them to be that gateway for you. And so
I think it's interesting. You're like an oxymoron. You're like a paradox, because you're the gateway, but then you're making it accessible to everybody. That's what I really see in your class.
I'm the open gate.
Yeah. I love that, because it kind of turns that on its head, shifts that energy around.
And of course, in other parts of my world, I am an entertainer. I do things involving mind reading, that sort of thing. I do seances for people that really want to part the veil. I also do seances for people that are curious what it was like to go sit in a darkened room in the 19th century, because you didn't have an Xbox.
I love Victorian seances. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so my goal is I have theatrical sides of things that I do, but it's all underlying a very real path of discovery for myself that never ends, or at least it hasn't for me. I would tell people I don't see things. I experience it in other ways, but I don't really see things. And then a while back, I saw some things. Okay. Nothing is positive. So my goal in the workshop is going to be to get everybody very comfortable with some basic chiromancy, so that you can go and the next person you meet, you can say, hold your hand up like you're saying, stop in the name of love, and you'll get something out of that. and you can experiment with how to use that information. And of course, my booth, I mean, I do different kinds of readings. We may be working with that. Palm readings actually are kind of difficult to do to any depth over camera. But I'm also there just to talk to people. I don't expect to be doing a lot of sales exactly. I'll have a tip jar maybe, but I just want to connect with people and find out where they're coming from and encourage them to trust themselves and to be looking for opportunity rather than permission. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, and Saul's been helping me a lot with it too, the event, a lot of brainstorming and activities. He's very much a creative type of person, so which I'm not a creative person, so he throws all this creative stuff at me and I'm like, sure, go for it, whatever. So you will see him at the event. He's going to be emceeing. He's going to be teaching his palmistry workshop. He's also going to have his own room. So, you know, we talked about the event coming together and how we wanted people to come in to experience the gathering and the workshops and also the speakers, but also to make lifelong connections with other witches and other people, because we are so desperately in need of connection right now that we are suffering. Our practice is suffering. Our souls are suffering. We can't have that gatherings, the rituals anymore. So come hang out with us, but make some lifelong friends that, you know, like Saul said, he is the open gate. We have opened the opportunity worldwide. We have people all over the world that's coming in to connect with you. So I don't want you to think of, oh, I need to find something in my backyard. You can connect globally and make lots of friends and sisterhood and brotherhood and circles in this event. So we will have an actual time where you guys can gather. We call it the common room. So you guys can just talk back and forth, drink, share stuff, show your, you know, your goods. As far as your witchy wares, we don't want your goods. Thank you very much. You know, share your weird macabre bones or your skulls or your, you know, whatever animal skins or whatever it is, or your ideas of, you know, blood magic, or, you know, you're like, shit, I'm the only one that does blood magic. No, a lot of people do blood magic. So it's about the community that we're bringing together. It's about magic, but it's also about the connections what you're gonna get and with community. Play.
I love that song.
I know, that's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
I love it. So join us.
The
Saul.
Echo and the Bunnyman version.
You'll see Saul the next, you know, 3 days of the event for sure. And then Blair's gonna be emceeing, playing music, all stuff too, in the common when we have just common.
Time for bingo, huh, Susie?
Huh?
Time for bingo?
Oh, bingo. Okay, yeah, bingo. Bingo. Let me see. Bingo. All right, here we go. Let's spin. Wow, that was a long one. Vampire.
Is that like the lips and the teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I know. We haven't even talked about that. We are going to have Father Sebastian, who is going to be talking about vampire magic.
I'm excited about that.
You know if you heard about him, but he's in New Orleans and now he's all over the place.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that. That sounds pretty interesting. I'm excited to sit in on that.
Yeah, I think his talk is on Sunday. Let me see if I can get the schedule. Let me see, because I'm sure y'all want to know the schedule, right?
All right, so while she's looking at the schedule, currently that's at negative 25 decibels. How is that for all of y'all?
I like it. I think it sounds good.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we're good with negative 25 decibels. That's crazy. I had to put it that low for it to work. Frickin' Zoom. All right, cool. Now for the community room, I'll probably put it at negative 15 decibels. But all right, awesome.
Now you might find if you go into the Zoom audio settings that you can set the level lower there, and that'll give you a little bit more play in your mixer.
I did, and it lowered my mic at the same time.
Can you run your mic through your music mixer?
That's what I did. Is
Okay.
I actually installed Voice Meter. It's a software audio mixer, and so I have the mic as a hardware input. I have the sound card as a hardware input, and then I mute and unmute in the mixer my mic,
Sure.
and then I can lower the levels of the audio output through Voice Meter. So basically, I just set the audio mixer as my sound card, and
So let's
it's
do another bingo while they're talking technical.
And they keep playing with Zoom, so double check that there aren't new settings for like reducing feedback and things like that in Zoom that work against playing music.
Oh yeah, there's actually 3 new settings about removing echoes and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, check.
So the
I have
next
no
one,
idea what any of this means.
I know, I don't either. That's why I'm like, that's why I let them talk about it.
It's just techno witchery.
Right.
It sounds like witchcraft. That's a, you know.
Two drinks that time.
Mhm. So, okay, y'all are gonna laugh at what I named this next one, but I can't remember what the name of it is. It's a Renaissance one, medieval one, but I call it the spiky tool.
That's a morning star.
A morning star. I know
Yeah.
Jared would probably know what the name of that is too. So, but I was like, Jared knows what that spiky.
I've slayed many
The
orcs
spiky
with that.
Now, do we all have the same bingo card?
Yeah. It's the hurting stick is what I should have called it.
Because if we all have the same card, we're all going to win at the same time.
Right,
Isn't
you
that
have
what
the-
they used? They
but
used
I
that in elementary school, I think, the hurting stick.
Yeah, the hurting stick. Yeah, I didn't think that through very well, but then the first one who gets it.
It's because we're all winners.
Yeah,
We're all winners.
This is a group team effort.
I can't
I
wait.
knew there
for
was
my
going to be alcohol
participation
involved,
prize.
so
let's see. So, spiky stick.
I think it's adorable, Susie. You did a good job.
I like it.
We all win comfort with one another.
There you go. Perfect. So, all right, we're a little bit over, about 15 minutes over. So does anybody need any help, or do they have any questions, or does anybody want to talk about any of their speakers that they want to talk about, their workshops or their vending? Everybody has about 5 minutes before we go. Any questions?
I just can't walk away from this until I win bingo.
Right? That's what I want. I want to win.
We need to win bingo. We need to
All
win.
right, intense bingo. Let's do it.
Bingo
That's
intensifies.
How are we gonna win though?
Whoever
Just
guesses
keep
the
going
win
until
that I'm
somebody
thinking
wins.
of.
We all got
give everyone the same card.
Just do a random, like I can close my eyes and just do like a random thing if you want on my screen. And that'll be the winner.
Okay, sure. And the next, this one who gets one, like what do we want to give away?
Is this for a VIP ticket? Okay, so I do, one of the things I do with numerology is a 12-month projection. A lot of people like to do it in January to look at what the year's going to be like. A lot of people like to do it for birthdays or any other point that they consider to be a threshold time. It just looks at the numerological energy around you from that point over the next month and sort of what the vibration is going to be like that. And I would be happy to do that for whoever buys the next VIP ticket.
Okay.
Awesome.
Who hasn't bought a ticket yet? I think everybody here's got a ticket. We still have Ellen's candle and then Saul's.
Well, surely one of these people watching on Facebook is about to buy a ticket.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we've got this video on in so many places right now, Susie.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can see the timeline on my page, on my PayPal account, so I know exactly who's coming through and who will win and what they'll win.
Go to bit.ly/witches, WITCHES, gathering 2020, all one word together. That's how you get to the page.
Yep. I put that in the comment just in case. But I tried to comment on my Facebook and I can't get it to work. So.
Oh, I already commented it on your Facebook. The link is already there. All you guys need to do is just scroll back in the comments a little bit. You'll find it up there.
So how are we doing the Facebook? Lots of activity in the Facebook?
Yeah, there are some comments.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I can talk about what I'm doing in the meantime while we're waiting on this. So I'm going to be presenting on runes of death and transformation. I felt that was kind of right along with the theme this year. And we talked about 3 runes in particular, Hagalaz, which is one that a lot of people really fear when that comes up in a reading. I'm going to be discussing Ivaz, which is a rune of transformation. I think of it as the alchemical rune, so I'm excited to talk about that. And the last one is from the Northumbrian or Anglo-Saxon Buthoric Aor, which is the rune of the grave. That's Hela's distinct rune, so I'm excited to talk about that and how to utilize these in our lives.
I'm completely fascinated by Hel or Hela. Is it Hel or Hela?
Yeah, it's both. You see it in...
I'm fascinated by her.
Yeah, she's a really interesting deity. Just coming from a very unique forthcoming. I mean, she's a child of Loki and Angrboda. She's monstrous and yet a goddess at the same time, and she's somebody that I've been starting to work closely with and on a more regular basis. A very misunderstood goddess.
Yeah.
How is she usually portrayed? Does she have anything special that she's usually portrayed with?
So she's typically portrayed as having a very decrepit and decaying face, one side of her face and her body. The other side is supposed to be quite lovely and beautiful and portrayed as that, you know, both life and death aspect of things. She controls Helheim, which is the realm of the dead that everybody else goes to if you're not chosen by Freya or through Alton. And her voice and what she offers is surrender and being able to surrender to where you are and what you might become and where you're going after that as well.
So she'd be a really good goddess to work with for like shadow work, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think of her, I actually work with her in conjunction with Berkana, which is the birch goddess and goddess of growth and regeneration, the mother goddess in a sense. I think they have a lot of similarities, and there's a lot of that crossover between that comfort and nurturing and holding and relinquishing pain and suffering.
And there is very, very knowledgeable on runes. So if you have any questions about runes, come see his talk. Come hang out with him in his room. He is very easy to talk to. He doesn't like talk above you. He actually like explains things to you, especially with runes, because some of it you have to learn 3 different things. You have to learn the writing of it. You have to learn how to say the rune, and you have to know the meaning of the rune. So some people can get overwhelmed, and Jared is fantastic at breaking all of that down.
Thank you.
Out with him. He is going to be speaking at the event November 6th through the 8th. Get your VIP tickets now. And he has lots of information in that he is really willing to share about not just runes, but anything Norse. I mean, you could talk all day about Norse stuff. He's all about it.
Do you have a class for sale or a program or anything yet?
So I'm still working on it. Being a fledgling business, I'm trying to start that up.
Would love to do like a year and a day program type thing.
yeah,
That would
and
be awesome, like a group program.
that's kind of what I'm looking at. Maybe some sort of Patreon deal, or one of the things that I'm looking at offering down the road here, or even as like a free gift sort of thing, might be a free tutorial with the purchase of one of my rune sets. And I work with all sorts of different wood that I find around the area. I just finished a lightning struck oak set, which I'm really excited about. I have some maple that I'm getting ready to work with, honeysuckle, so different woods and so forth. But the idea might be to incorporate a free class crash course sort of thing on how to read them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, down the road, I'm looking at setting up maybe, like you're saying, some different classes and so forth that could be purchased maybe through a membership program. But that's hopefully in the next few months, I'll be able to have that set up.
Christina is the one you need to get to with creating courses.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Classes.
I'll work with you on that. That'd be great.
Awesome. So, all right, bingo time. So what are we going to do for the prize for bingo? I think this is our last one because we only got about 5 minutes, because like a half an hour over. Do we want to do a free t-shirt?
Oh, a free t-shirt, yeah.
Free t-shirt for bingo?
That sounds awesome.
Christina, you want to? Ellen's like, she wants a free t-shirt.
I want one too. I'll buy one, but I would be, yeah. I'll donate the one that we all win, but yeah.
All right, Christina. So whoever gets this one next gets is that how we're gonna do it, Christina? How are we gonna do it?
Yeah, that's fine.
However you want to do it.
But they need to be in US. They have to be in the US. I'm sorry, I'm not shipping to Zimbabwe. I'm just not doing it.
They're too loud. And so how are we doing the bingo?
Well, what I could do is I could write everybody's name down and then like pull a name out.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So
we should each pick a symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And then you spin for the symbol.
You want to do a symbol, Christina?
How would I'm going to sit here and draw how many symbols?
Well, no, so I'm going to be the raven in the bottom left corner. And then everybody picks a symbol.
Okay.
Type in the chat what theirs is. So we know what they are. And then she'll spin the spinner, and whoever's symbol comes up.
Oh, okay. Good idea. Yeah, good idea. Love that. Okay, so I'm going to be, I'll take the moon.
Moon's already taken.
Already taken. Skeleton TK.
Watch
Jackie beat me to it, Jackie. Okay, how about the witch's hat? Was that taken?
Witch is taken.
No, the witch is taken,
Alan's
but
taken.
the witch's hat is not.
Yeah,
I'll take that axe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be the witch's hat.
Well, type it in. That way we got proof. We've all been drinking.
Okay. I'm gonna give my shirt away anyway, so if I don't need to win, but yeah.
Voodoo doll taken.
Everybody ready?
Is that everybody?
Let me put on
Dolly, did you get one in? She needs the bingo card.
No, the bingo card?
I do not have a bingo card.
Okay, can Sally be the broomstick?
As I say, pick one at random for her.
Broomstick. Sally wants the broomstick.
Okay.
She doesn't have one yet.
I'll be the broomstick.
Okay.
Okay, I think we've all got one.
I'll be the candlestick in the conservatory with Professor Green.
So make sure I have everything in here.
Who hasn't been the candle in the conservatory with Professor Green?
I had the lead pipe once.
I'm usually in there with Miss Peacock. I don't know. I can't.
spin. I just added those two though, so I'll just spin and then see what comes up. Okay, perfect.
All right.
Here we go. This is for the free t-shirt. Ready? I like that sound. It's not the did anybody pick the cauldron? No, no one picked the cauldron.
Nope. All right, t-shirt goes on eBay.
Again.
Should definitely donate it to the Salvation Army.
No, you're horrible for saying that. How dare you, Woodstock? Broom. No,
the broom, Sally.
Broom.
Sally.
Yay! Okay, Susie, how do you want to do it? Do you want to order it for her and then just bill me for that?
Yeah, I'll order it.
Okay. So get with Susie, give her your address and everything, and then I'll send her the money. Okay. It's really, really cute, by the way. It's super cute.
Oh, I can't wait.
Have it? Y'all, have you seen the picture of the t-shirts?
No, I haven't.
Let me see if I can get it to y'all. I don't know if I can add a file.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna have to stop the share in order for you to share your screen with the image. By the way.
Yeah, stop the share. Crazy. Good Lord, that's loud. You got to work on that.
Y'all said it was acceptable.
That's loud. They must have different ones or something.
But you just don't like the music. That's why it's loud to you. You
I
don't
have
count.
earbuds in. Most of us have earbuds in.
Oh yeah, we gotta account for that. We gotta account for that.
And we got to count for you not liking the music, so you always think it's too loud.
And you can play some Backstreet Boys, man.
Like, how do you not like Apparition by Echo Barrel, right? Like, I mean, come on.
No, I'm trying to find the t-shirt, y'all. Okay.
As long as there's a little Rob Zombie in there.
Oh, send her your size too. I think it's just in. Is it a female or male?
Unisex.
Unisex. Okay.
Okay.
So I figured I'd play it safe with 80s music during normal stuff.
Yeah.
There's the t-shirt.
All
Isn't that
right.
cute? It's got a little spider too. It's so cute.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, I designed it just for the event. So yeah, I'll say Witch on.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So cute.
Thank you.
You get the shorts with it too?
Yeah, Jared,
feel
we
like-
need to see you in your Daisy Dukes.
I was gonna say, I feel like that would be. I mean, that's typical brewer's outfit, right? Like,
It's a serving suggestion.
Nighttime, Jared.
All right, y'all. This has been fun. I will see you guys at the event. Have a great evening.
Sure.
Bye. Thank you for
Bye,
coming.
everyone. And we will see you November 6th through the 8th. And thank you for hanging out with us. And thank you for all the vendors who showed up, all the speakers who showed up. And these are just some of them. So we have many, many more. So check the website out, get your VIP tickets. And it still stands. I can see who is coming through. So the next person who purchases that ticket gets a 12-month forecast from Saul, and also is the VIP cauldron candle from Ellen. And Ellen's showing her soaps too.
Yeah,
She's
buy soap,
beautiful.
people. Buy soap. Stay safe.
Yeah.
And y'all make sure that you join the Facebook event to show your support and show that people are doing this, because some people are just kind of buying their tickets sneakily, and we want to show this is going on. So
Yeah,
so
because-
jump on in there and
Here's your hashtags. You
put
got.
your name on it.
Yep.
nice.
Thanks, Christina. All right, everyone, so grab your tickets. They're only limited VIP, and they went fast. We only, have a few left. So hang out with some vendors, some awesome speakers. VIP is you get your. I'm excited about the seance. I'm excited about the freaking private seance. And who's gonna come through for us?
I'm looking forward to that too.
I know, right?
That should be cool.
So thank you everyone for hanging out, and we will see you November 6th through the 8th at the Witches Gathering online virtual party.
Party.
Witch on.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.